we're talking about such a large variety of subjects, but mainly, everything you're talking about, John, just reaffirms the fact that I am not happy with any single individual up in Washington, D.C. today.
Well, there's not a whole lot to be happy about. Even if you want to try to hold this, eternal optimism, which to me is becoming just nothing more than eternal delusionism.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure. I'm really not so sure if I really have to, be honest about what I'm thinking right now. What I'm feeling right now is I really don't know if we're going to be able to reverse what's happened. I think at most we might be able to throw some of them speed bumps out there or something, but the unethical behavior and the basic lack of understanding of the Constitution by the people that have been elected, and that's because the lack of understanding by the people that are electing them as to what the Constitution is about. I was just looking at a clip the other day. There's this guy, Amar, what's his name? I can't remember his name. He's an Indian law professor. He's an Indian law professor at Yale, and this guy is being touted as the number one constitutional law professor in the country. And I'm listening to this guy talk, and I'm thinking, I'm really trying to understand what he's saying. I mean, his English was good. It's not that he had an accent or anything, but I'm listening to him talk about the unwritten Constitution and the spirit behind it and all these other things, and I'm going, where in the hell do these people come up with these concepts?
You know what I heard? I heard that guy too. You're absolutely right. Where in the hell are they coming up? They're reading between the lines. I can't see anything in there.
Yeah. It was really funny. I saw him on an interview with Steve Colbert, and Colbert just ripped him apart. I was really surprised, but he did. And he's asking, he says, well, you're talking to me about this unwritten Constitution. How do you determine what part of the Constitution is unwritten? And the guy pulls a little Constitution out of his pocket, and he hands it to Colbert, and he goes, well, it's in here. And Colbert says, but this is written. So if this is written, what is unwritten? And he says, well, it's the spirit of it. He goes, what are you talking about? And this guy tries to explain. He tries to give some examples of what it means, and it's so nonsensical. And he's written 3 books on this stuff, and I'm like, I can't even understand what he's even trying to lead to, much less what he means by what he's saying. It's like these guys must have sat in a room and smoked dope until they couldn't walk, and sat down and said, hey, why don't we say this? Why don't we say, hey, what, it's kind of like the, what if every cell in your body is actually a universe? It's that kind of thinking. It's like spaced out, just intellectual gobbledygook. And it's just like, you have nothing better to do. And you guys are the top people.
Hey, does that scare the heck out of you? Does that scare the heck out of you, John?
What's that?
I said, doesn't that scare the heck out of you?
It does. It does, because it's no wonder that people come out of college. I was looking at a video today where this guy went up and asked these people on spring break simple things. Who did we fight in the Revolutionary War? And we got everything but England. And one guy said, well, the North fought the South. And he's like, no, you're talking about the Civil War. He goes, what's that? They asked him, I'm telling you, they asked him who George Washington was. And they said, well, I think he was one of our presidents.
Oh.
I mean, these are, and then they laugh about it. You show them how idiotic they are, and they go, oh, geez, I'm working on my tan,
Doesn't that disturb you? Because it just really does me.
It does. It upset that. This is what upsets me more than anything. This generation coming up now that in another 10 years will be taking over a lot of what's going on in this country. Not even a clue that they have been sucked into this deceitful, evil, unethical game called politics.
Do they not know, or do they not care?
Well, they don't care. They have been taught not to care. They have been taught that everything is supposed to be done for them, and all they're supposed to do is participate by watching, and that, instead of them understanding, they don't care because they haven't been taught to care. That's the problem. Lincoln said it, that you can destroy a nation from within with one generation through the schools. One generation. Well, we've had more than one. We've probably had 4 or 5 now. And each generation gets dumber than the other one.
Oh, yeah.
And the only thing that happens is they come out of college deeper in debt to work at jobs that don't pay enough to pay their loans off. They're totally indebted to the state from the day they step out.
Oh, yeah.
And don't even realize it. Don't even realize what they're getting themselves into. And by the time they do, it won't matter anymore.
Yeah.
That's the sad part of it.
You got that right. They're going to turn it around and say, well, where did my country go?
Well, I know my grandkids one day will sit and turn around. Of course, maybe not my grandkids, because I hammer home the truth to them. But a lot of grandkids are going to turn around one day and go, my grandma, my grandpa, they weren't really that stupid. Hey,
John, we got about 20 seconds left. Why don't you go ahead and give out your contact information? Talk about your show a little bit.
Okay, well, the best way to do it is just go to my website, theconservativesyndicate.net. It has all of our show stations. We stream 5 to 7 Monday Western Time, 8 to 10 Eastern Time, and you just go there. You'll find anything you want: stations, archives, blogs, bios, everything is there. The conservativesyndicate.net.
John, this is actually a terrific show today. I really appreciate the time, and I appreciate the day off yesterday. You're a good man for it. I'll talk to you soon. Matter of fact, sooner than you probably want me to, because I've got all this equipment I'm trying to figure out. But anyway, you have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll talk to you soon, John.
All right. Take care. God bless.
All right, buddy. God bless you, too. Do you suffer from autoimmune disorders, thyroid conditions, or weight loss problems? Geared for Wellness can help. Sean Lefebvre and his Geared for Wellness program employs a synergistic team including experts in the fields of chiropractic, diet, nutrition, and neurotoxicity. Together, their experienced team is trained in utilizing cutting-edge and up-to-date nutrition and cellular detoxification programs designed to treat autoimmune disorders, thyroid conditions, Graves' disease, weight loss resistance, fibromyalgia, and much more. Contact them today to schedule your 100% guaranteed consultation. If you don't agree that they can help you, you don't pay. Call them now at 442-400-4373 or go to their webpage at www.gearedforwellness.com. Again, that number is 442-400-4373. You'll be glad you did. Set Up My Cell is a smartphone and tablet setup and training service that sends a tech to your location. That's right. Set Up My Cell will send a live tech to your home or office for smartphone and tablet tech support and training. Their techs can fix email glitches, sync iPhones with Android, PC, and Mac, and so much more. Contact them toll-free at 888-628-1119. For individuals, learn about everything our techs can do to help you make friends with your smart device. It is our opinion that a basic setup should be installed onto every device. Learn how we guide you through the session to choose the best apps and configurations with training. And for businesses, loading apps, configurations, security settings, training, we are able to help with all aspects of your investment. Please visit our webpage at setupmycell.com, and don't forget to call us at 888-628-1119. Are you looking for real conservative talk from real conservatives? You need to listen to my good friend John Matthews on his radio show, The Conservative Syndicate. For over 50 years, the progressive movement has worked to redefine our Constitution by erecting an imaginary wall of separation between church and state through legislation and adjudication that encourages government dependence and the licensing of immorality that removes personal responsibility. The Conservative Syndicate seeks to tear down this wall through education, information, and engagement with those who seek uncompromising truth regarding the religion of politics and the politics of religion. It is time to reclaim our standing as one nation under God, hosted by John Matthews, citizen by birth, Christian by grace, patriot by choice, and conservative by all that is reasonable. John's radio show is globally syndicated daily. Go to his website at www.theconservativesyndicate.net for broadcast information. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And I want you to know that today is April the 23rd, and yep, it's somebody's birthday. Boy, here's one of my favorites. He was born in 1936, died in 1988, an American singer and musician, Roy Orbison. Man, what a talent he was. And here's another one for you. Born in 1954, an American filmmaker, very controversial guy, Michael Moore. Happy birthday to you. He's born in 1954. And Carlos Dingler was born in 1974, an American musician, Interpol. And Dev Patel, born in 1990, an actor, came to our attention in the multiple Academy Award-winning film Slumdog Millionaire. And today in history, April the 23rd, 1935, Polish Constitution of 1935 was adopted. And in 1985, Coca-Cola changes its formula and releases the new Coke. The response is so overwhelmingly negative, and the original formula is back on the market in less than 3 months. And how about April 23rd, 1988, Pink Floyd's album Dark Side of the Moon leaves the charts for its first time after spending a record 741 consecutive weeks over 14 years on the Billboard 200. Well, our quote for today comes from Colette. Colette was born in 1873, died in 1954, and says, "Total absence of humor renders life impossible." Well, you know what? I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes sense to me. Now, let's talk about the secret daily teachings for your life. You know what? I keep telling you, make these your own. It's all about a positive mental attitude, and if you have that positive mental attitude, everything you ever dreamed of, everything you ever wanted will come true. And the lives of everyone around you that you touch will be better for it. Trust me. Today's teaching, if you're thinking, I don't have enough money to give, bingo. Now you know why you don't have enough money. When you think you don't have enough to give, start giving. As you demonstrate faith in giving, the law of attraction must give you more to give. Now I want to tell you, I had an uncle, Eddie Gonzalez, that believed in that. He was a very wealthy man, and I was going with him to the bank one day, and he says to me, Bob, I just don't get it. The more I give to charity, the more I give to my church, the more money I make. It seems like a never-ending thing. I keep trying to give it away, and God or somebody keeps trying to give it back, and even more of it. So I guess if you've got it, you have an obligation to use it for good purposes, and if you do that, it'll come back in spades. Well, how about the Harvard business tip of the day? The management tip today is don't let searching for more evidence delay a decision. Something that often gets in the way of our ability to focus at work is our tendency to keep gathering or garnering information long after we have enough to make a decision. How can we avoid this analysis paralysis and learn when to stop collecting more information? The best approach is to develop your hypothesis or argument early on so that your search is focused on supporting or refuting it. If that doesn't work, give yourself a deadline. For example, when working with collaborators, aim to have something to send them by the end of the day. This helps avoid an open-ended search process. It's tempting to seek evidence to support every argument, but don't be afraid to bring your intuition to the table and find time for reflection. Create breaks in the day, maybe during a commute or while exercising, so you can make sense of all the information that you actually have. That, my friends, is a terrific tip for today. Just believe me, it really, really is. Now, let's talk about those interesting but useless facts. And I love this part. It's kind of a lighthearted part of the show, but I really enjoy it. Let's hope that you do too. Let's get right to it. The first one up is Halifax, Nova Scotia. Canada has the most bars per capita than anywhere else in the world. No wonder people like to go to Canada. Or maybe, I've never been to Nova Scotia or Halifax. I think maybe it's due a visit. It's got more bars than any place else in the world. How about this?